Hello friends, I believe that all of us have been to hotels, restaurants, malls, and at times it so happens that the person who is providing you service, it is not up to the mark. And so we feel bad about it, and at times we do complain it to the right authority that this person is not providing us proper services. Good or bad words, they are different things, right? But we are putting our point that the person is not giving us proper services. Now, here the question arises, was that person who was giving you service was aware about what is required? Fine. So whenever we go for a job, there is a very important document, and that is job description. Maybe the person is not aware of the job description, an error from the HR people around, or maybe the person does not understand what it is all about, or maybe the job description was not updated on a regular basis. And so they were not aware of the latest services that are required to be incorporated. So let us understand as to how this JD can be formed, that is the job description, and how I should understand it. Whether I am an HR person or not, I should have clarity how it is formed and how I should interpret it. Fine, so let's begin. So if you look at a job description of any company around, usually it starts with the section called about the company. So the company might write about the company, or may start with the logo and the heading of the company's name and tell us briefly about the company. That is the interest as to what is this company all about, how big it is, or what are the future prospects. Why should you apply to us? See, that is the kind of question that we need to answer. Not too long, because nobody wants to read the whole history of the company that is best available on their websites now. You move ahead, you expect a title as to what designation are we looking for, right? And then we come to the next thing as to what is a purpose, what is a profile, in briefly as to it's like saying that we are giving a bird's eye view as to what this profile is all about. The simple terms, the designation, if you say assistant manager HR, assistant manager marketing, that's fine, designation is fine, but the purpose of the job, a little more clarity as to what you are required to do. Maybe you're saying that you will be taking care of a small region for that matter, or maybe few number of people that you mentioned that these are the people you're going to handle. So there is some kind of clarity as to what is being expected, and that's a bird's eye view for us. You move ahead, then they are asking as to what kind of people can apply, what are the job specifications, how much experience is required, what kind of qualifications are required, right? And that is where we mention all that stuff. Now, as we move ahead, we need to understand how do I obtain these things, because there are a number of sections over here. The next section probably will be about the roles and responsibilities that are required. So the company might list down the roles and responsibilities of the probable candidate. You go further, they might even talk about what kind of qualities we look forward into an individual who is going to apply. Fine. And as we move ahead, we would expect something about the compensation part. That's why we are trying to join a company or taking up a job. Then we might even be interested in knowing, or the company might like to tell you, what are the career progression that you can expect if you stay with us. So if your performance is satisfactory, say after 1 year you'll be here, after 2 years you will be on this level. So a company might like to tell you a number of things around. So there can be a number of additional sections where the company would like to mention more things so that they can attract the right talent pool. The biggest benefit of a job description, we are focusing on the right talent pool. If there is some mistake somewhere, we might pick up wrong people and they might not stay with the company. So the usual question, or the usual problems or concerns that people have is, well, we were shown a JD, this job description, it never said that I have to do this extra job. So that is a big concern. It might be because we have not updated our job description recently. And so we go back to our concept of job analysis, where we discuss there are 6 types of approaches for job analysis. And we would like to do the analysis first and then build up the job description. Now, what I'm saying is that either ways, either I'm preparing a job description or I am trying to understand the job description, I should understand the whole process, how it should ideally be done. So the base is the job analysis. So we should begin with the job analysis. We might pick up a method based on our logic that I would like to observe that person for some time, or would like to say administer a questionnaire, or I would like to interview that candidate's profile, say a star performer is being interviewed for that. So there are a number of ways I can do that. Now I assume that you picked up something that was quite logical, and depending on the situation you said this is the best thing possible as of now. What do I ask those people? So we should be asking them as to what do you do on a daily basis? What are the critical things that you have to do? Maybe monthly, maybe quarterly. What are those things? Why don't we just list down those things? So however silly it might seem, but listing it out helps a lot. You know, at times a marketing person would like to help the wholesaler or the retailer to improve their display of products also. So you have to list down all the things that are there, maybe 30 jobs, maybe 40 jobs, maybe 50 jobs. And for each job, what kind of competency that is required, listed just next to it. And now what do we do with that? We need to do the VD analysis for this, that is vital, essential and desirable jobs and competencies. We might like to club them later, right? But then for each job that is being done, I need to identify the related competency and say whether this is vital or not. If it is vital, it should go to the job description for sure. If it is essential, I may not choose to put it over there. You know, even when we talk about the qualification required, this particular jobs tell us what kind of qualified person can take up this job, what kind of skill sets are required, and hence this analysis helps us a lot. The desirable parts are something that is additional. You know, you might say work experience will be appreciated, but I'm open to freshers also. Fine. So that is desirable part. So when the candidates are there, I might like to compare, but I'm not stopping people to apply for the job. So doing the VD analysis, I come to know the qualifications required. I come to know the roles and responsibilities I should put in my job description. If anything that I want to talk about an individual as to these are the behavioral skills a person should have, I can take it from here. And also it helps me in understanding what kind of selection process is likely to take place, because the selection process has to pick up or rather measure the competencies required. What are those competencies? The competencies required for doing the daily jobs or the critical jobs. And based on that, I would like to rate my candidate whether it's suitable or not. It also helps me in understanding that in case I have to compromise and take up a candidate not up to the mark, what kind of additional training I would need for that. So all in all, this job description happens to be a very interesting document. We cannot have everything on job description, isn't it? We just want 1 page or maximum 2 pager. We don't want to read the whole stuff like that. But all those things that are vital and essential should be reflected over there. Fine. So when you apply for the job next, have a look at the job description from a different perspective now. Fine. Happy learning.